All right, so yesterday we touched on, because we read a text about how we got our nicknames on the show, and then that led into why I went at Big Al during the newscast once and called him Dr. Girlfriend's Ex, because he called me Bridget.
Right.
And so there was a question of where did that come from? And honestly, I have no idea why I was called Bridget. One of the years of high school, I got picked on by a couple guys on my football team. It honestly, it was so bad at times that I would go home so just beat down and sad that I almost quit football. Right. But the one thing I had never done is I had never reached out to these two guys that just every day belittled me and would call me Bridget. And you know how other kids are, they jump on top of that because they don't want to get picked on. And these were like the two best players on our team. So I actually, like, when I got brought up to varsity, I looked up to these guys, and it's almost like when you get to what I figure college players feel when they go play in the NFL and they get to play against their idols. This is how it felt for me, because when you're a freshman and you see these guys wearing the varsity uniforms, these guys are your idols. So I looked up to these guys, and then my interactions with them were the worst. I reached out to him because, you still follow each other on Instagram, and I wrote him. By the way, this is the only time we've ever corresponded on social media, and I wrote, all right, man. Random question. Back in high school, you and the other guy used to razz my butt and call me Bridget. We were talking about nicknames we've been called on our show, and I brought that one up, but I still have zero recollection why you guys called me that, so I'm coming to you, the source. Do you remember why you guys called me Bridget? All I remember is just being mad and just heavily sad about this.
Yeah.
He wrote back, ha ha. What? Really? Bro, I don't remember that at all. With the facepalm emoji, right? So I wrote back the crying face emoji. And then he wrote back again. He wrote, I'm trying to think. And I said, well, I guess I will never know now. And then he wrote back, either way, I am so sorry for being a jerk.
Yeah.
In another word.
In another word. And I said, you know what? It's okay. We're all jerks at some point. I looked up to you two, so I was fine with just being acknowledged by you guys, but it really did wreck me. And he said, oh, man, I'm sorry. You're the man, dude. You have a beautiful family. I love being able to see your pictures. Keep doing your thing. And so I wrote him back, and I said, your kids are beautiful, too. Your daughter's grown. Looks just like you. And he said,
look at that.
Wow.
And this is the lesson I learned, because I have pined over this, and I have hated this, and I've thought about it, and I've had sleepless nights about this, about these moments with these guys that I looked up. I've had counseling sessions, like it was bad.
Yep.
Wow.
It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Well, it was to you.
It was
so
to
don't
me.
take that away from you. But we
looking
dwell
back
on things, and people, it's like they don't even realize they hurt you and they forgot. But
Exactly.
look, but as adults, I think that's good for people. If there's something that's still bothering you 20 years after you graduated,
Reach out.
you reach out, and they'll probably be like, I am so sorry. I don't even remember that, but I am so sorry. And that might be a very freeing moment for you.
It is. And you know why? Because I realized at that moment that it wasn't personal. It wasn't that they hated me. It wasn't that they sought me and picked on me because of something I did. It was just I must have been at the wrong place in the wrong locker at the wrong time and got stuck with a nickname. It could have been any other kid on the team, any other underclassman that got brought up to varsity.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just got a little hazing from a couple dudes that actually ended up going throughout the year. But it's not that big of a deal now.
Yeah. Even though he doesn't remember, do you feel like you got closure?
Yeah, I 100%. The fact that he
Good.
said, if he would have said, man, don't be such a wuss or whatever, then
Get
it
over
would have been a
it.
different story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
It's been
fact that
20
he said,
years, man. Get over
yeah,
it.
the fact that he said, man, I'm so sorry, and then he apologized, even though he didn't really remember why. It gave me the closure that I needed as a dude.
There you
know?
go. There you go.
Good. I'm glad that happened.
I'm glad we had that conversation on the show because it gave me closure on something that I've been
Good.
thinking about basically
No.
since I was a sophomore in high school.
We love you, Bridget.
Thank you, Justin.
It has no power over him anymore, Justin.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I took the power back yesterday.
Yeah.
Good sir.
Yes.